welcome back to the Breakroom. I'm your host, Brandon Barrick, and today we're talking about Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. That's right, we've all seen it. Have you seen it yet? If you haven't, you better tune away. We're live right now on Twitch. Like I said, I'm Brandon. Who cares? I'm going to introduce everyone else on our esteemed panel today. And after I introduce them, they have to make their Transformer noise. We're going to start at the end of the table with Jay Washington.
Hello, everyone. I am here. I am very happy to be here. And look, y'all already know. If y'all saw me talking about the trailer about this, you know how I feel. So do I do my noise now?
Yeah, do your Transformer noise. Ooh, that was pretty good. Next to Jay, we got Tommy Bechtold.
Hello. What do you mean you're taking the kids? You can't take the kids. They're half mine. They're half made of me. They're half mine, Samantha. Don't take the kids.
It's like a Charlie Brown Transformer.
It was like a
noise.
sad tied into the whole opening.
Yeah, he's a sad former. And right next to me, we got Coy Jandreau. Hit him up, Coy.
Hey, really enjoyed this movie. Excited to talk about it, and I'm very intimidated somehow by the act of a Transformer noise. I'm just dying.
Cleared his throat. No, Coy's cleared his throat.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
And to be fair, you all did yours, so I will do my Transformer noise. Bing bong, bing 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 bong. I'm a tiny Transformer.
He's a little guy. He's just a little guy.
I'm a little
guy.
Hey, you're joining us live on Twitch right now, and we thank you so much for that. If you aren't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that. Follow the channel. I don't know what you kids do on Twitch. We are definitely going to spoil this movie. If you haven't seen it yet, you can stay as long as you love being spoiled and won't get angry at us. You'll probably get angry at us anyways. We're going to be uploading this to the Breakroom channel later today on YouTube, so it'll be available to watch over the weekend. So feel free to walk away now. Go ahead and sub for 36 months and then walk away. Go see the movie and then come back and watch the video later on our YouTube channel, Breakroom.
I've been a sub for longer than 36 months.
That's true. That is true, Tommy.
Well, I've been a dom for a little bit longer.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We're going to be reviewing this movie by giving it a score of 1 to 5 in different categories. I believe 5 different categories. Am I right, Evan? Yeah. Perfect. 1 to 5 and 5. That's what we're calling it.
Okay.
You're going to give a single number for each category. The categories are the script, which includes the story and the writing, the visuals, the acting, the directing, and the sound/music, or the sound of music.
The hills are alive.
If you have your own questions or thoughts about this movie that you'd like us to talk about, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Keep them related to the category, though. I'm begging you. Keep them related to the category. We'll check in at the end of each section, see how y'all are doing.
Yes.
Let's get into it, because we got a lot to say about this movie.
Yes.
I think overall we all pretty much enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll see.
We'll find out. I've got some
spoilers
things.
for 5
Let's
minutes
put it
to
this
find out
way.
the truth.
I've seen it twice. I've got things to say.
Tommy has seen it twice. I saw it last night by myself. My wife refused to go see it.
Well, to be fair, one time I saw it was at gunpoint. So I was.
Tell me you like these damn robots. Do you like them?
They did. They were referred to as robots in the movie, which I did appreciate. Let's talk about the story and writing of this movie. Let's jump in right there, okay?
Okay.
There are 5 credited writers for this movie: Joby Harold, Darnell Metayer. I panicked. Josh Peters. I panicked. Josh Peters, Erica Hober, and John Hober.
Oh, they got both Hobers?
They got both Hobers.
Holes together.
These Hobers ain't loyal.
So let's talk about
loyal.
it. Let's talk about it. You know,
Yes.
as I mentioned, my wife refused to see this movie with me.
Yes. Carrie.
But when I got home, don't dox her. How dare you? How dare you? She doesn't watch this. When I got home, the first thing she said, "What were your highlights of the movie?" And I was like, "Well, it was better than any of the Michael Bay movies." Which is immediately what I said. So, what do you folks think about the story and writing in this movie? Jay, we'll start with you as the #1 Transformer fan in my life.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I appreciate you.
Overall, I like the story because I was telling Coy and I've told everybody else. One thing the Bay movies did not do is what Stephen Caple Jr. and even Travis Knight and Bumblebee did. You have a movie about big-ass robots that turn into things, fight, and blow stuff up. That is what you want to see.
Yeah.
You don't care. I mean, you need a little bit of the human element, right?
Sure.
Because if you go back to the cartoons, you had Sparkplug and Spike, Spike and his son Daniel. But you don't care as much about all this Wiki family that Michael Bay made this about.
All the weird government officials who were joking.
coworkers.
Yeah, we didn't need all that. So the thing about Anthony Ramos' character, Noel, his mom working, his son having his brother, having sickle cell, him just trying to take care of his family, not being able to get a job because what does the dude say? Well, your CO say you're not a team player, which you kind of knew that was leaning into something.
I did like that a lot, that he was a flawed person.
He was flawed.
He did a bad job in the military. And yes, he's thinking about his family. He's concerned. You know, we don't go into the father at all, which I love too. It wasn't like this, like, I got a photo of my dad and he was a soldier and I got to live up to him. We don't even know who the dad was. Who gives a fuck about the dad, right?
Bill Cosby.
This guy is trying to do the best.
Spoilers.
He's doing the best he can, and like he didn't do a great job in the military, and he's feeling the effects of that.
And then even when you get Toby Whitway's character, who by the way is amazing, this is his acting debut. If you have not heard his music, I highly recommend y'all go check it out. But for Ramos to go deal with him when he was reluctant to do it, he was like, I don't want to do this, but I got no choice. My brother needs his care. That was all his focus was. And so that overall starting everything, and then Dominique Fishback, with her just wanting to be the curator of a museum. Like, I know about this stuff. I know this stuff. Let me have it. That overall, it's just a little small pieces of things later on that I'm like, nah, but I love the way the script was written because I love the story behind it.
We've all had upper management steal our ideas. It's true. It's true. Tommy, what did you think about the story and the writing of this film as someone who saw it twice?
It's no secret I'm a published writer. No, I'm just kidding. I won't do that. I won't do that bit again. Here's my thing. I agree with Jay's point about the human characters. I like that they solved human-sized problems for the most part. One thing I don't ever need to see is a military man shooting a machine gun at a giant alien robot. It's unnecessary. I mean, like, maybe the first line of defense immediately destroyed before they're like, oh, we better be nice to these good robots because they'll defend us. So I enjoyed that element. Some of the dialogue, which I'm not going to be like a super, hard grader on, cross my spark, hope to die. The fact that Pete Davidson's character comments on it, that sounded cheesy coming out loud. Like, I thought Pete Davidson was very, very good in this movie. I think being aware of the jokes that you're making in the movie, to me, is a little too winky for Transformers. Now, if it was a comedy, sure.
Right.
But it's a Transformers movie. Again, maybe I'm holding it to too high of a standard. I also... sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to interject. Yeah, that was Mirage, though. He knew he makes those... You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I think that's the thing.
Sure.
Mirage was that type of character.
Yeah.
He was like, I know what I'm doing. I'm a jokester. This is what I do. But I get what you're saying, so go ahead.
And I think in the middle, I want another credit to this movie is it's under 2-hour runtime. I mean, come on, baby. That's what we need for these things.
I agree with that.
But that said, it's still, for a while, when they first got to Peru, I'm like, this is taking a long time to unfold. This is we're really we're getting every second out of this. We flew an entire film crew down to Peru. We're getting it all on.
They did film at Machu Picchu, which is very high up,
and it's beautiful. We'll get to that later. It's beautiful, but yeah, I give it a 3. I give it a 3 out of 5.
Oh, did you jump into your score already?
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Well, we know what he's gonna say.
It's on the teleprompter. So I was like, oh no, I forgot what I'm similar. I definitely gave it some wiggle because it is a new requel situation that also has to kind of follow in the Bay footsteps, but also is following in the Bumblebee footsteps. It's launching while also acknowledging the past, but it had a lot of lifting to do where it had to follow that Transformers formula of like, okay, we need the humans, but not really as much as you think we do. And we have to go to this place, and we need the human to be relevant. But why are they relevant? They're not really relevant. We have to pretend they're relevant. And that felt like the second act was burdened by the trajectory of the other 6 films, because they always have a moment where it's like, you there, your job, you've trained for. You're the one that is in this situation that you have the specific skill for. And I get that it's a Saturday morning cartoon, but this felt a little more on the nose with that, with the two of them.
Yeah.
There were definitely moments where their dialogue was very much like, my job is my life and the reason these robots landed near me. And so it got knocked down a bit for that. But the fact that it was able to be so endearing to nostalgia in a positive way while juggling that puts it higher than a lot of the other Transformers.
I got one more with that, because I'm, again, Transformers.
You're the guy.
You didn't have that with Anthony Ramos' character, though, because he was always like, I really don't want to do any of this.
Yeah.
Which I liked.
But Dominique Fishback, she was like, I need to do this because this is what I know. I know this. She's trying to prove herself more than anything else. You know what I'm saying? And then even we go on story, the Optimus feeling guilty about everything. What happens with Bumblebee?
I loved Optimus.
Optimus being like, damn.
His human reluctance was really great. I like that he didn't have any
humans. Was
great.
great.
Like, why would he? Like, he doesn't know us yet. Like,
He almost crushed Anthony Ramos. He was like,
You brought a human here?
Yeah, when we get to the acting, I have a lot of Cullen
Yeah.
things to say.
He hates humans now, you know.
And Primal embraces them. Primal
Yeah, yeah.
is with a whole tribe.
Well, he lived with them for a few thousand
Yeah.
years. You know, Optimus has been there for 7 years. He's 7 years away from 9/11. That's gonna wreck him.
That's true.
That's gonna show what humans
But,
really
but I believe in '94, not the first World Trade Center bombing had already happened.
Yeah, he's a year off of that. He knows
Also,
what humans are
sorry,
capable of.
real quick aside, when the smoke storm is going through New York City and the smoke is
that was a
cascading
moment.
through the two towers, I was like, that's an odd part of New York City. I know you can't show the New York City skyline without the two towers previous to 9/11, but like, I was like, man, I don't know. There's just something about that just it took me out of the movie, and I immediately thought of the tragedy and sadness of 9/11.
But I think you had to because of the authenticity.
Yeah.
Again, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because we're so used to seeing the spire now.
Right.
Instead.
I'd have shown like Soho or something. I would pick a different part of the skyline.
I mean, that's, you know, before this movie, I of course had a trailer for the Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a Paramount movie, and that one features the Freedom Tower every time, and it's like, man, these kids grew up in a world after 9/11. You know, it's tough for them. And then like you get these people, they don't know what's coming. It's gonna hit hard.
is there a way we can tell them?
To get back to the writing and the story of this film, I did enjoy it. You know, I think they had a lot of good stuff for the humans to do. Very smartly, we're like, oh, we need you to go through the human-sized door, or this weird thing has human-sized tubes in it. We don't know why. I did enjoy all that.
The tunnels, they're human
Yeah,
size.
they did not waste a lot of time. We start with the destruction of whatever planet the Maximals were from.
I wish I knew what planet that was.
Well, it was. I agree, Jay, because I afterwards I looked and I was like, oh, that must be their home planet. But it's kind of implied the Maximals are like these celestial-like figures.
Yeah,
who
that was the vibe I got.
Exist beyond time and go to planets and start.
Yeah.
Right?
They foster life on planets.
Which is like a weird thing to think that like, oh, every planet has apes and cheetahs and falcons.
Great equalizer, these big.
Right.
Can I defend the human-sized tunnels for one moment?
Please.
The freezers and
They can fit through. You're right.
They need to travel through those tunnels, and they are about human size.
You're right.
When on all fours, because for a long time I was held up on the fact that
Yeah.
this transwarp key creates a Lord of the Rings tower
Yeah.
with a tunnel system that only human, and also a console that is easally reachable by a short human
Tiny
woman.
human woman.
Yeah.
It's like I pictured like Optimus Prime's finger on that console just.
Theory,
And
like,
it's the size of hands to like gesticulate.
Yeah, just perfect.
maybe it adjusts. We've seen different things do that where it adjusts to the user.
Oh,
and
yes.
maybe again, we're talking advanced technology. I'm gonna try to defend.
I
this.
love how like, your
agree.
passion it's there.
I mean, I
love
think
it.
in a movie about space robots that turn into cars, like we suspend our, our rules of
It's a
writing.
sisterhood of traveling consoles. the console fits whatever lady
it's
needs
true.
it.
It's true. It's
At
totally
that
true.
point
I gotta
in
say
life.
the line in this movie that blew me away was when Mirage meets the little brother, and Anthony Ramos knows has to be like, oh, it's a friend from work. And Mirage is like, a friend from work.
You were inside me.
I was like, whoa, they went there. Also,
I looked around at every kid in my theater. I was like, did they hear that?
to commend the writing a bit, I do think spoilers for the last beat,
Yeah.
which is very impactful and amazing. I think they led to that in a way that was
Yeah.
more authentic
Yeah.
than
Was-
all of these
yes,
shared
yes.
universes have been.
Yeah.
Like, I think Marvel's obviously the bar, but every other movie that's tried to do a shared universe, you always feel it coming. And I really
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that they
yeah.
planted seeds, and
Yeah.
like we talked about the suit, and also how that is a suit from the G.I. Joe animated movie,
Sure.
but it also does look like the G.I. Joe live action,
does. Yes, it
and
does.
it looks like the Transformers animated
good.
movie.
Yep.
So I thought they did a really good job planting those seeds that it being like that's coming. So it did feel like the Iron Man
Yeah.
of Transformers in its writing. Which
Because
I
like at no point do you think they're not gonna stop Unicron, right? Like
Right, no.
as the third act's going off, you're like they're going to succeed.
Well, I was hoping, I'm not gonna, this is me. I see Unicron, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, you're going Transformers the movie. Well, Transformers the movie, Unicron transforms. He's not just a planet the whole
Right,
time.
right.
Because remember, when Scourge is talking to him, you see his eyes.
yeah.
You see his eyes. So I think because we definitely are going further, they're saving that transformation.
Yeah.
Because also their budget is going to be insane to transform him.
And if they sideline him for a couple of movies, they can bring in the Decepticons. They
Yeah.
can reintroduce
Unicron.
Decepticons.
Yeah, I kind of like not having Megatron in this,
me
and
too.
like we'll get to them, and it'll be more
And
fun.
I think a long game with the more iconic characters, like not using certain Beast Wars characters we
Yeah.
love yet, because they can sprinkle them in.
yeah,
When we talk story, and I know we're going to go to scores.
yeah.
we're talking story and writing. I was a stickler. One of the things before for using Scourge as the main one. Because again, for those who watch G1 who know after the movie, well, even in the movie, when Unicron takes Megatron, turns him into Galvatron, he turns, I think it's the Insecticons in the Scourge, he turns Skywarp into Cyclonus. Cyclonus is the number 1. Scourge is like a deep number 2.
That's completely correct, Jay.
So
This is what it's like to hear me talk about comics. I've never been on the other side of this. It's so interesting.
So
Like,
it would have.
So
invested.
Cyclonus is Josh Allen, QB1.
Scourge.
Is Kyle Allen, QB2.
Yes.
All right.
So that was the one thing for me. Like, why go Scourge instead? I know why you can't do Galvatron because you didn't want to do Megatron.
Right.
But why not do Cyclonus at least? Granted, Scourge was done well, everything, but that was one of my little nitpicks with the story.
Maybe
Just a little
Cyclonus
nitpick.
wasn't feeling good.
Yeah. Optimus, he took no quarter with Scourge. He is gone.
Man.
That was awesome.
They were a little loosey-goosey about who could die and who can come back in this movie, but that's fine.
I think if
Pour
your
one out
face
for
is
Air
pushed
Razor, I
into
think she's
lava
not
and then
You're
your
out.
spine,
Yeah.
I think once they do the Mortal Kombat spine,
Once they
raid,
do the fatality, I was like, that's
That was a
it.
fatality. All right, we got so many categories to get through. Let's get through our scores right now. Jay, we'll start with you. What was your score for the writing
And the story.
and the story of this
Overall,
movie?
4.5. Like I said, those little tiny little nitpicks I had for me and what kept it from being a 5.
Yeah,
but that's what it was.
Oh, I've always said 4.5.
Oh, is that what you said, Tommy?
Yeah, I've said 4.5 the whole time.
Interesting. Okay. Well,
I'm gonna go 3. I
Okay.
do feel like it passes, but it's
Yeah.
like they've work they can do to the next one.
okay. I went 3.5 on this one. I did enjoy the story. Again, I thought it was a lot better than any of the Bay ones.
We're grading it on a curve
yeah.
because of some of those Michael Bay
Sure,
movies.
sure.
Which
But I
is the
think-
problem, too, that it
Yeah.
got to live up to that when it's technically only after Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Right. Because that has nothing to do with the
Nothing to do with the
which
Bay
is fine.
movies.
I mean, they look very similar. I still think they're a little overly complicated, but that's a whole other thing. What are our folks in the chat saying? What are these?
Your boy
breakers,
Jay
these
says,
rumors.
haven't seen Transformers, but I don't care. Laugh out loud. I've waited a month for the break room.
You can still see it, your boy Jay. You'll have a good time.
Yeah.
Christian Unpronounceable saying, missed Rat Trap. We were just talking about that.
Yes.
But he wouldn't have worked here. Love when Starscream's ghost possessed.
Oh, my God. That was one of the greatest
That's
episodes
another
of-
one. We were talking about in Beast Wars, if you watch that weird cartoon.
Yes.
So good.
If you're a rat, you're still the same size as the other ones, which doesn't make any sense. I guess that's why they put them in prehistoric times.
Yes.
So they'd be like, oh,
Yo.
there's giant
They were
rats.
big
It's
rats.
fine.
It's fine.
Prehistoric rats were a huge part.
They were of unusual size. That's why
Not even
Princess
that.
Bride got them.
A wasp, which was Waspinator, a tarantula,
Yeah.
Huge. But then they were partnered up with a pterodactyl,
Yeah.
a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and a velociraptor.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, if you want giant rats, just go to
New York City.
New Jersey.
Get a rat.
And an ape, which did not exist during that time. I mean, come on.
It's all very
It was
confusing.
very confused with the timeline. Mr. Feeney 5 said, as a kid, Cheetor was my Bumblebee. But as usual, Bumblebee stole this movie, him and Chris. Great stuff. Grace Under Pressure saying, yay, Tommy said my name on the headline episode yesterday. Well, I just said it now. Made my whole year. Love all y'all. Mahalo.
We love you too, Grace Under Pressure.
Lily Loopsy 18 saying the robots were great. I did like all the transforming. It was less complicated than the Bay transforming. which
Yes.
I did
Oh,
like.
yeah.
Christian Unpronounceable also saying, I'm trying to remember, is fist bumps were a thing in '94? Yeah, I don't know when fist bumping became a thing. Well, we didn't have
popular.
Again,
it. The robots brought it to us.
I was going to say, again, we don't know that wasn't the origin because he doesn't. Mirage himself seems confused as to what to call it. He said, give me a little.
He thinks it's this.
Give me
He
a tap.
invented
Oh,
the
that-
He
bump.
thinks
that
it's
I
the jab.
Which
That's
was in
what
the
he
90s.
thinks. That was the 90s. So Mirage was thinking this.
Mirage invented fist
He
bumps.
best football.
Yeah.
Pete Davidson.
It's
That's
like
why
when
he
that
gets
guy
everybody.
in baseball accidentally invented the high five because he was so excited. The third base coaches used
Yep.
to shake the hands of people when they hit home runs and they were rounding third. And one guy was so excited he slapped his third base coach so hard in the hand he broke it.
Did baseball really invent the high
Yes.
five?
Yes.
Is this true?
Yes.
Learned something new
We
today.
just saw it on the field. A man slapped another man's hand.
That's
It's called a high five.
I
My
consider
God.
myself a husband and a Christian. That's a fly ball by Castellanos, home run.
Okay, let's move on to our next category, the visuals. Let's talk about the visuals of this
Let's
movie,
get
okay?
visual.
It was very exciting for me, I will say. I'll leave this one out. Like I said, less confusing transforming, which I really liked. One of my least favorite things about the Bay ones was just like the visual mess during the fight. I couldn't tell who was who. It was all metal gobbledygook. This one I did like. I still think the mouths are weird. Like Air Razor had so many moving parts because
Yes, it did.
They tried to put lips on a bird, which was weird because like they tried to give her like emotes instead of just
It was the
Let
big
her
move
bird.
and the mouth
It's
move
like
in the
moved it
six.
back, and
It was like a mask that was a bird, but also a human that is also a robot.
It was weird.
That's my favorite Depeche
strange.
Mode song, "Lips on a Bird."
And like Scuttlebutt or Stratosphere was
Scuttlebutt?
Stratosphere is like an old man. Which again, why are you an old man? I don't.
You can
understand
embody
that.
anything.
Yeah,
you
could
can do
just
whatever you
be-
want.
I mean, the logic of Transformers and why they choose what they are. I mean, in the toys, one chose to be a gun.
That's true.
One chose to be
Big,
a
big gun.
cassette player.
First of
That's how
all,
you know who's
you will
different.
not disrespect the cassette players.
Yeah.
You will not disrespect
Thank you,
Soundwave
Jay.
and Blaster.
Thank
I
you,
will
Jay.
not let this disrespect
Thank
go on.
you,
But was
okay?
the cassette
Hey,
player the size of a
Soundwave,
gorilla?
Blaster,
Because
where are
otherwise,
they?
where's the
Cut to
continuity?
some person's like cookout or barbecue, and they're just playing songs. We're busy. Sorry.
And can I ask?
I should have been a taxi cab. What is wrong with me?
Jay is
Why wasn't I a truck?
Jay is a professor emeritus in. I said that wrong.
Professor Emeritus?
Thank you. In Transformers, are they have the ability to just make more mass when they need
That's
to?
the thing. That's the one thing I will appreciate Michael Bay saying he wasn't going to do.
Right.
Was consistently
They had to
shit.
fit into the
Yeah,
thing,
because
right?
like Soundwave, the cassette player, Soundwave would turn into a regular
Like a
size
tiny-
boombox.
yeah.
And then he would just be massive.
Right.
And then he still had like 5 cassettes in him. He had Laserbeak, Buzzsaw, Frenzy, Rumble, and Ravage.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, this is all, and these are all big monsters, the robots themselves. Right. So I do get that part. I just didn't like Shockwave Soundwave in the Bay movies. I hated that. But yeah, it's just the size thing. So
like when Mirage becomes a garbage truck.
Yeah,
That
Is
was
that
weird.
much
a
bigger
hologram,
than Camaro.
Or is it like
It's so
making
Mirage,
more
he
metal?
does holograms and he goes invisible in the
Right.
cartoons, which was like, okay, but the shape-shifting element of, because like even when he was showing Anthony Ramos's character, he was like, oh, I can be this, or
Yeah,
I can
I
be
can be
that.
that.
and he
F1
physically had
racer.
Anthony Ramos in the
Yeah.
Porsche like
Yeah.
multiple times, which I thought was a great way.
I
to show his
loved
talent.
Yes.
that.
Swimming around
Yes,
him?
to show
Yeah,
him,
that's
yes.
very
I thought that was a genius move, and I
I-
think that made the garage work for me. Like the truck.
And I love that they didn't spoil the fact that Anthony Ramos was in the Porsche in the
other
trailers.
Porsches? Yeah.
Yes.
And they had
Like
that
flipping
fun bit
off
where
the
he's
cops
flipping
and
up the
stuff?
cops, which is a death sentence in New York.
We were both, Tommy, just afraid to actually do it.
Yeah, because he was a brown
I
man
really
in New York.
hated
I
that.
was pissed.
brown
Tommy
dude in
went,
New York.
Tommy went European with it. Jog off.
I thought the visuals were outstanding. I think it was I saw it in IMAX, and I was really impressed that I never was confused. It wasn't disorienting like the chaos, but it also felt impactful. It felt big. It felt like when you're a kid, the images you want to see. There was a moment in the third act that there was the cars driving down, and then the beast walking across the plain, and then like 2 humans like right near the end. And I remember thinking, if you got rid of the beast, that would look like a great car commercial. And if you made me as a kid see this, to be like, oh, this is what Beast Wars will become. But it looked like I was just watching a regular movie. My brain was so in the world, I didn't think anything of it. And I was like, this could be a Chevy commercial. And I loved that impact of visuals, that I was so invested that I was in the world for 2 hours. I like the visuals were one of the best things for me.
I agree.
Tommy?
I like the visuals. That was a standout for me. Again, I agree with you, Brandon. I thought the fighting was much more easy to comprehend and stay on top of. The transforming, I thought the designs were really cool. Wheeljack was a highlight for me. I loved the Volkswagen bus into his character. I thought that was great.
Glasses, the suspenders.
The suspenders.
A nerd, perhaps?
Danny Rojas.
Transforming his life.
I'll spark his life.
Yes. What's Stratosphere as well. I don't understand why you choose to be an old cargo plane, but I love that he coughed up an engine part. I love that the first time Optimus Prime really connected with Scourge's face, oil came out like a Rocky.
yeah.
It was like, "Pugh." All those little things to me, I liked it. I liked it a lot.
I like it a lot. Again, all the visuals you all said, and I keep bringing up Unicron, but also the scenes of how Scourge communicates with Unicron.
Yeah.
When it appears around him.
Yeah.
If anybody was trying to figure out what is that similar to, the Golden Child. When Brother Nusi talks to Satan, he's on a thing, he goes, and it just forms around him, but he never leaves.
Right.
Scourge did the exact same thing. Again, Stephen Cable Jr. took a lot of stuff from the 80s and 90s and used it as frames of reference for this movie. He gave a lot of homages to it. So that was one of the things that were beautiful, because again, like he's floating, Basically, Unicron has Force Ghost powers on him.
Yeah.
But it's
Because
also
in real space, he's floating. Like, the other two are just watching, like, what's going on?
like he getting choked up. But again, just as in Transformers the movie, Unicron has control over Galvatron the same way. So he gave a lot of credence to all of the Source stuff that came before.
Yeah.
So also, I forgot to mention in the writing, there's several lines. T'Lala won. That's an Optimus thing. And there's a line from the series The Rebirth. For those who have never seen it, it's the G1 series, season 4. It's the only 3 episodes in that season. This is when they start developing the Headmasters and Target Masters. But there's a specific line in episode 3, that RC says, Scourge has the key, and the exact way she says it, Liza Koshy says it in the movie. It's like the exact same line. Yes, I am a nerd from Transformers, ladies and gentlemen.
Which which cartoon does Optimus Prime go, make him come?
Stop. Absolutely stop. Didn't he say it twice in this movie? Let them come?
They must come.
He said it twice.
Seriously,
He said it twice. Unicron was great, and I saw it in a Dolby screening, and man, my seat was shaking. The sound was great for all of that. I did like all that.
Also, seeing him eat a world, which we actually saw him take a world of,
cool.
Sucking it up.
which also gave me hope for Marvel when they do Galactus.
I was thinking of
Can
Galactus
I-
a lot.
can I ask
Also,
a question?
Steppenwolf parallel with Scourge was great.
Were they implying that Unicron only eats worlds that have Energon on them?
That's the vibe
Yes,
I got.
yes.
Why else? What's he?
Because when they're at Earth and the machine, the MacGuffin machine, the transport machine, shoots up the power and it activates all the Energon, which heals Bumblebee.
Right.
You see all these other rocks glow, and were they implying this is all Energon that's just on Earth?
Energon that's been always
everywhere?
a thing. Yeah, Energon is
But
always
it's
been on Earth.
inert.
It's inert.
Energon can exist as a gas, as a solid, and I'm telling you, I just studied this.
Yes.
Okay.
I just studied this
I believe
as
it.
a
I
solid
believe
and as a liquid. Usually, it's in a liquid in those capsules. That's their fuel. That's what they.
And if you watch G1, Soundwave used to make containers out of his chest, and they would take oil and turn it into Energon. They would take running water like hydroelectric power, turn it into Energon. So they would use different things.
Energon cube.
Cubes. Give it to me, Tommy. All right.
Beautiful stuff.
Ow!
That was a baseball level high five.
I heard it. I felt that one.
Real dangerous. That was a Dolby sound. That was
All right, I'm out next week.
Let's do everyone's scores for the visuals. I'll kick this one off. I give the visuals a 4.
4.5 for me.
One little bitch.
Tommy,
5.
5.
you know Jay's giving it a 5. That did look great. Can we just do the normal mouth?
That would push at least 4.7.
I want to put my fingers in Air Razor's mouth.
It's very confusing.
I feel bad for Air Razor. Why doesn't she get to live? Also, sorry.
Once Scourge touches you, he stays with you.
He stays
Once
with
Tommy puts his fingers in your mouth,
Stop.
he stays with
Stop.
you.
No. That was the line. That was the line right
Tommy,
there.
please.
Jesus Christ.
How come Air Razor was separated from the rest of them for so long?
Because they were trying to hide the 2 parts of the keys.
And they just stayed apart for that long?
They just hey,
They
look.
can't meet up?
Sometimes you
Well,
gotta
this is again the confusing thing. Were there more Maximals?
On
Was
Earth.
did they split in half? Air Razor took 2 buddies.
But everyone else is together. Like
No,
literally,
no,
just Air Razor.
Primal asked her.
Yeah.
Primal asked her where the other ones were. And
So,
she said they didn't make
others
it.
got off on the ship.
Yeah, they got. She said they didn't make it.
They
they
know
didn't
they know his
show-
Arctis situation. Maybe we'll go even further back in time and watch this movie. That'll be the next one. Will be the movie
prequel.
going back. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see what some of you maniacs in the chat have been saying, huh? Al_Sween said everyone wants to be Deadpool. It's true. Everyone's trying to be funny in the movies now. Why can't we just be serious?
Why
Those
can't they make a
Transformers known for
dramatic
the serious.
Transformers?
Meryl Streep
Nolan
is.
Boyd
We
saying,
did that. Michael Bay did.
those weren't serious. I just showed producer Evan and producer John the Romeo and Juliet scene from
Oh god.
4-minute Romeo and Juliet.
It is
scene.
just
You
so
don't know
much.
what that is? Look it up. Nolan Boyd saying, I've legit only seen the second Transformers movie. I assume they mean the Bay one, but I'm here for the boys.
Revenge of the Fallen.
There's a lot of Soundwave fans in the chat. For
Yes.
Fridays are for the boys.
I mean, the Soundwave toy was the best.
It was the best
Oh,
one.
it's so
Such a
cool.
good
Do you
toy.
understand? I was looking online because there are 2 G1s that I want to have just for my house, my collection. I want a Soundwave and I want a Predaking. Soundwave at minimum goes $200.
Yeah.
But at least you get Laserbeak with it, so I'm good.
I mean, everyone on Twitter is trying to get rid of those Predakings. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. The only Transformers I have are Gigawatt, which is the DeLorean one. I swear that's a real name.
I'm waiting for the blow on
And
this
no,
one.
there's no blow on this one. Then I have the Ghostbusters one, which I've never
okay.
taken out of its package, and I feel like I want to bring to the break room and put on our set.
There's a great set I want to buy that's like the Jurassic Park Jeep and a T-Rex.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
This one's for you, Jay. The 1507 saying, who had the better cassette, Soundwave or Blaster?
Oh, that's easy. Soundwave. Blaster had a few of them. He had a rewind recoil. He had steel jaw. Yeah, they looked like basic little robots.
Yeah.
They looked like little robots with guns, but they were not Rumble and Frenzy. Then Soundwave had Laser Beacon Buzzsaw. Then he had Ravage. Soundwave had the better cassettes.
Going through them.
Soundwave had the better cassettes, but Brandon,
Yeah.
we've got the better sponsors.
Oh, it's true. It's
Quick,
true.
You go ahead. You go.
Oh, I'll do it. Okay. We want to thank you. We want to especially thank our sponsors today. One Shot Energy Chews. They're funding and fueling today's episode of the Break Room. Does it seem like we have a lot of focus? Because we have these focus chews.
Okay. Have you noticed I've been dialed in, not doing
Energon
any
cube.
tangents?
These look like now laters.
Yeah. We love these things both here at the Break Room and on New Rockstars and on Deep Dive. It's a focus chew, so it's caffeine-free and a great booster that we love to take right before we're about to go live to keep us on task.
Sometimes Brandon says if my shirts are too tight, I can only eat One Shot Energy Chews.
I'm very strict with Tommy. He
measures every part of my body on Fridays.
He's not allowed to eat the apple peels.
One Shot Energy Chews are a healthy and convenient energy-boosting supplement candy. They're a nice alternative to coffee or energy drinks, and they come in caffeinated and non-caffeinated varietals. All with vitamins and nootropics for focus and energy, and God knows I need as many nootropics as I can. To check them out for yourself and to support the Break Room, go to oneshotenergy.com/newrockstars for 10% off your order. Choose it or lose it, suckers.
Is that their slogan?
It is now.
I like that slogan. I think they have like a special bag with our name on it too.
There's one I think with Eric Voss's severed head.
It's
called
There's
Voss.
only
It's
one.
called Voss sauce.
There's one Voss sauce. Get out of here.
Limited edition. You have to find that bag.
They do, I will say this: if you are into the caffeinated ones, they are caffeinated.
Yeah.
They will give
gotta
you
try that
energy.
If you've thought cocaine is so painful to
Stop.
snort.
What? The cocaine, Tommy.
Okay, they're not like cocaine.
I don't know if we can say the C word on Twitch. I don't know the TOS.
We'll find out
Are we
today.
still live?
They love
They
it.
cut us off.
We haven't been on Twitch in years.
All right, let's move into our next category: the acting.
Oh.
Because you can't have a movie without acting.
You know what's weird for me, guys?
What's weird
I
for
don't
you?
know why my voice went so high for that. I don't understand why and this is a Bay tradition. Why the voice actors are buried at the bottom? Like they're like the stars are the computer graphics. The voices are second, especially in a movie like this, where I thought we were talking about Michelle Yeoh, so majestic. Dinklage, you got the boy Dinklage as Scourge.
Crushing it.
Yes.
Pete Davidson, better than we could have ever imagined, harkening back to the quippy Saturday morning cartoons. Cristo Fernandez playing Wheeljack. MJ Rodriguez is Nightbird, incredible. I could do this off the dome. You got to scan it up. Coleman Domingo is Unicron. Move over, Orson
Unicron
Welles.
voice
was
There's
great.
a new Unicron in town.
Yes, he did.
was
Justice.
great. He was great.
Rosebud.
I will say I really liked Anthony Ramos in this.
Yes.
Ramos?
Oh yeah, the humans.
I think he did a great job. He was very realistic. Like I said, I loved that his character had a lot of flaws. He was like, yo, fuck these Transformers. We're about to break this Transformer piece.
Yeah.
And I think he had a good point.
He had a good
Yeah.
point. He was like, hey.
And I
He's like-
bought his perspective. Like I was invested in the
Yeah.
because everybody loves a Transformer, but I was so invested in Ramos' story,
Yeah.
even though it was against the
And
Transformers.
oh boy, all of a sudden Optimus Prime wants to work together.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, wait a second, both of our cultures need this to survive.
Hey, he was like, Optimus Max was like, hey, please, God, don't do this.
I'll
Please,
let you drive me like a
I'll let
trucky
you drive.
truck.
I'll get you your license. Please, don't do this. And then even
You can toot my honky horn. I'm sorry.
That's his pride.
For a second at the end, when they were driving off the bridge, I thought, oh, he let Noah go pee inside him, but he was like, no, get on the back.
Noah's good.
inside of
That's
you.
that's an SNL sketch. Noah's been inside all of us.
and it's everybody just talking to each other like a group chat.
Yeah.
Was he inside
There's
you
just
last night?
there's
Or
just
see like it sounds
there's
like
just one guy named Dave who's like a security guard. He's like guilty.
But it felt good having both Ron Perlman and Peter Cullen.
Yeah.
To have Optimus Primal and Optimus Prime talk to each other.
Yeah.
That was just something, again, if you're a Transformer fan, if you're a big kid, it was just, granted, I don't think Perlman did it in Beast Wars.
That's what I was going to ask. Was he the
Perlman
voice
did it
of
in a
Perlman?
later version of Transformers.
Oh, okay.
But just to have those two together talking, and then to have him say Autobots, Maximals.
Dude,
that was like the
That was
Avengers
such a
Assemble.
moment, yeah.
When he said Maximus, I was like, ah! I jumped up in the theater. They was like, yo, sit your big ass down. was like, y'all let me have this. But the characters, like you said, the robots should be the first and foremost because this movie.
We were talking before. I feel like Bay had like a 60-40 split, and this was like 80-20.
This is
Like it should
80-20,
be.
yeah.
And I really liked that the strength of this movie was trusting the audience to go, like, we want Transformers. And I
Yeah.
feel like Capel Jr. is our generation, so he's like, I feel like we're starting to get this really beautiful era where nostalgia isn't just used for nostalgia. It's the suits are now the age that they should be to make nostalgia work.
Yes.
Like if you look at, like, there's always that Back to the Future thing. Like if they made it now, it'd be 1993, which is traumatic. But it's also really good because that means like we've entered an era where the things we grew up with, now we're the adults deciding these decisions,
Yeah.
and we're the ones getting to make it authentic to our experience. And this felt very much like Capel Jr. made this when he was a kid, and he finally got the skills to make it as a reality.
Right.
And Peter Cullen was at my screening, and he said, for the first time, a director treated him like the fans treat him.
Yes.
And I was like, what a beautiful thing for Cullen to get his flowers
He's like,
from the director.
Michael Bay spit in my mouth.
Slap me every day.
Yeah, Michael Bay basically was like, well, he's just the voice of a robot.
Right.
He literally, some people disagree with it, but Bay treated all of the characters that were the robot voices just like, well, you're just voicing a CGI creature.
Which it sounds like Capel was like us, like, oh my God, it's Peter Cullen.
Also, let's talk about the RC in the room. Liza Koshy breaking down barriers for YouTubers to voice Transformers, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe some of us could voice a Transformers someday.
Liza Koshy
I'd
had-
like to be SWAT boy, a mosquito transformer.
SWAT boy?
I'm Slobby Swats. That's
Me
right.
want to be Grimlock. Me, Grimlock, want to run Dinobots. Dinobots are better than
All right.
Autobots.
I like
Is there a
this.
fast talking one?
That's for the Dinobots?
Dinobots?
Oh, no, yes, it is. His name is Blur.
Oh, he's in the movie,
Blur.
right?
Blur's in the
Transformers
movie.
I want Blur.
Blur's in the movie. He's like, there's Blur and then there's Wheelie. Yep. So
Brandon, you'd be Cutie Pie, the transforming apple pie.
Delicious.
I also want to say,
Well, tell your
shout
mother
out
we
again,
ate it all.
Toby Waitway, man, give that man his
Yeah,
flowers in this.
he was really great. Yeah, I liked the balance of humans and robots. I thought was like very fair.
Yeah.
Lots of good voice work, I think, in this. There was a great featurette on the Paramount YouTube page leading up to this movie with Peter Cullen. And you probably know all this, Jay. You're an expert on this, but I didn't know this. His voice of Optimus Prime is based off of his brother, who was like a Marine.
Yep.
Talked about
And
that.
like, he was living with them at the time of the audition, and he thought his brother was gonna like make fun of him for like, oh, I'm gonna go be a car robot. But when he told him he's like a leader, he was like, well, this is how you gotta do it. You know,
Yep.
Yeah, I think
it's
it's
like
beautiful.
it's a beautiful homage to his brother, which I think is great, and it's great hearing his voice. You know, it does make me sad because it's like they'll probably keep making Transformers movies, and one day Peter Cullen won't be with us.
This is why
They'll
AI
probably
is
AI his
advanced.
voice,
Yep.
and it's not gonna be
Yeah.
the same. I don't know.
They're gonna like James Earl Jones it, where they're gonna save him saying like 500 words.
Right,
They'll be
right,
able
right.
to like piece it together.
Come.
Yeah.
Come. Come.
Peter, we're gonna need 16 more
Come.
takes on that one, please. Thank
Come.
you so much.
Assemble. Come. Come.
So what are everyone's scores for the acting? Tommy, we'll start with you.
I gave it a 5, and I've always given it a 5. No, I'm just kidding. I gave it a 4.
Gave it a 4. Coy, what about
I'm
you?
gonna up mine. It's gonna throw off the math at the end, but I'll redo
okay.
the math. I've changed mine. It was 3.5. I'm going up to 4.
You're
I'm going up
pissing
to
off
4.
our graphics
I'm,
team
I'm
right
so
now.
sorry. If that's not doable, I'll relate.
Well, I was always
But
at a
I
4.
feel
Unlike
like it's a 4.
Coy. I was at a 4. I really liked it. I loved Anthony Ramos in this. I can't wait to see him do more. He should do more acting. Put him in a musical.
Yeah,
huh?
he should be somewhere.
Yeah, can he sing?
I don't know.
He almost should be in a Marvel thing coming up. I don't know.
He should. We'll keep that under the hood.
I did a
for now. Jay, what
4.5.
about
I did
you?
a 4.5. There's just a few little things. Again, I wanted more. You give me Cheetor and Rhinox. And
Cheetor needs more lines.
needs more lines.
There are beasts in your Rise of the Beast movie. I don't know. It took too long to get to the beast.
I think Rhinox's only line was, Rhinox!
I think he just yelled at him like a Pokemon.
Matt Damon!
The actor doing Rhinox also did Battletrap, who I don't think I ever heard say anything.
Battletrap did. The confusing thing about Battletrap's lines, because I thought the same thing. He speaks when he's standing behind Scourge, and his voice, metallicized, roboticized,
Right.
sounds so similar to Scourge. There are times
Got
where
it.
he's making a statement.
But you think
and
it's Scourge.
You just, if you're not really watching whose mouth is moving.
And
That
the
was
same-
why I
this-
dropped it some, was the confusion when there were multiple robots talking,
Yes.
and I couldn't tell which of the Transformers or Decepticons or...
They should have little things above their head that glow.
Little
when they're
speech
talking. He was also Ape Link, the same actor. Did Battletrap.
And he is
Rhinox and Ape
I
Link.
believe, a classic Beast Wars actor. I think he was the
Oh,
John Soloff.
okay.
Yes.
I believe acted in the original, was the voice artist in the original Beast Wars series.
Bless you.
May God have mercy on your soul.
How dare you sneeze?
What's the chat saying?
Evan, we got anything from the chat?
Yeah, 1 second.
Oh, okay. We'll
Poor Evan's writing 4 because I changed mine. He's over there like reinventing code.
Fandom hype saying Tommy's fingers for lunch. I guess they'll take your fingers in their mouth.
Yep. Once I pop, the fun don't stop.
EA Boss. Someone
Hey, I know that guy.
Someone let him on Twitch saying, "Oh my God, look at Jay and Coy. I'm dying to see these guys try to chew these things in real time." We love delicious one-shot energy chews. Don't
But
get me wrong.
they're made of a material that
They
is
are tough to
space
chew.
age. They make you earn it. You want to know
Yeah.
why? Because if you just shot it all down your throat at the same time, you'd be too hyped up.
If they were too soft,
You gotta earn
all
it.
of our grandparents would be eating them, and they'd be too focused,
You also
too
don't get a
energized.
jawline without a
That's
little
right.
bit.
Yeah, it's a
There's
workout.
his girlfriend. It's
It's a workout.
Just gives you a little
Eric
texture.
Voss loves him. We love him too. Huh?
And we love Eric Voss.
We love Eric Voss.
God bless America.
All right, folks. Let's talk about. We've talked about Stephen Cable Jr.
I
Wait, there was some more comments.
Oh,
that
there
they just
were?
added. Yeah.
One more.
Oh, Christian Unpronounceable was saying, "I love the scene in Beast Wars when the Maximals discover Prime's body."
Yes, there's a scene where they because so the
We're talking about
The original
Optimus
show,
Prime?
right? Like
in the
season
original
2?
Beast Wars, yes. No, season 2, yes, right before. So what it is like Megatron discovers that the Ark, that's the Autobots' original ship, is there. It's there at the time because the Maximals came from in the future back in time.
Oh, okay.
And so Optimus's corpse is just lying here. It hasn't been reactivated.
Oh.
And then Prime just looks at him and he takes his spark and then he becomes Optimal Optimus. Yep, I know a lot about this.
Well, Christian.
Boy, this is what,
Does-
yeah, this
does-
is
I just what it's like. It's
Does-
fascinating. It's so much fun.
My question is, does Optimal Optimus take the shape of a hippopotamus?
So he's the Optimal Optimus. I don't know.
If we're optimistic, it'll work out.
Okay, yes.
Let's optimize this. Let's talk about the directing of this movie.
I've said enough.
We had director Stephen Cable Jr., who recently did Creed 2. I say recently, there was a third Creed.
Yeah.
But I think, let's talk about the directing of this movie.
Okay.
Coy, would you like to start this?
Yeah, so Stephen Cable Jr., I think, is going to be one of those force of nature names with blockbusters. I think between Creed 2, which I liked a bit more than I think a lot of people because I saw it as a Rocky 4-2, and I went into it wanting a Rocky 4-2.
Is that a Rocky 8?
It's a Rocky 16.
Rocky
Square.
So I found I was so invested in the sequel to my favorite montage movie of all time that I was really like, oh, he did the thing where he blended a lot of themes like Rocky 4 did, and I don't think Creed 2 gets enough credit, and then I don't think this movie will get enough credit for the directing being so unique of us hitting a certain benchmark where the kids that grew up with are now making the movies, like I said before. Sure. He's able to blend nostalgia, he's able to use the soundtrack, which I can't wait to talk about, that's my favorite character in the movie. He's able to make the characters part of their setting. Like, I love when characters from New York feel like from their New York. And I love when New York is its own character in a film, like LA can be and all those things. And when it's in a big grand scale, like a global threat like Transformers, you still feel that pulse. That's such a unique director. So not only was it shot visually so you could actually tell what was going on, not only was it edited in a way that you felt the nostalgia, but also like the pace moved, but I feel like Stephen Cable Jr. is able to make blockbusters in a way that's digestible to fans, but also can just be a summer movie. Like if you don't know Transformers, you're still in, but if you do know Transformers, you're in. Yeah. So I love the directing. I think he really found. I want him to handle the whole Hasbro universe. I want him to be the Favreau of Hasbro.
Okay.
Hasbro Daddy, come get us. What are my thoughts?
Yeah, Tommy, what are your
Sure.
thoughts?
Please tell us.
Creed 2, I agree. I agree with your point on Creed 2. It also,
the Creed
it also
2
gave us the best Stallone, Rocky. I've been punched in the head too many times. That's what love is about. Which is I say all the time, and people just think I'm drunk. Yeah, I was harder on this movie's directing. I think because some of the choices in terms of, again, the middle of the movie to me, even though it was a relatively short movie, I just felt there were certain points where I'm like, it felt like we were we were rinsing and repeating the same fights because they were so tasteful and judicious with the amount of Transformers in this movie. We saw a lot of similar fights happening. We saw the fight at the museum, the fight on the road, then the fight with the brief fight when Air Razor breaks bad, and then we see the final fight. The four of those fights to me felt, other than the obvious Maximals joining for the second two, they felt a little redundant. But that being said, I still prefer this to anything Michael Bay put his perverted little finger on.
Oh no.
Oh,
He made Megan Fox wash his car in a bikini.
yeah, this is true. This is true.
I did that, and people tried to cancel me. Michael Bay did that, and they gave him the Ninja Turtles franchise.
It's true. 2 of them.
And gave him noses on top of that. I said this from the beginning. Stephen Cable Jr., if you're watching this, follow me back on Twitter, bro.
Okay.
That's what he
wait
said
a
from the
second.
beginning.
No,
He said every review.
no. I said at the beginning of this, seriously. Give this man, like you said, give him the Hasbro verse.
Yeah,
100%.
Give him the Transformers verse if he wants it. He understands it. He gets it. He knows what this is supposed to be. We got an introduction into it again. The door is open for so much more.
Right.
We talked about what this Hasbro verse, which is this G.I. Joe, Mask, all these other things that are coming down the pipeline. I don't think he'll get all of those, but if he wants to be the interconnecting glue and understand how it's supposed to go, a la a James Gunn, a John Favreau, let him be
He's very
that.
much the James Gunn energy as
He's
far
that
as like
James-
he's
yeah.
passionately invested into
Yes.
a greater universe.
In his greater universe. So give it to he understands it. He took this, again, it was a daunting task because what's the main thing we all keep bringing up? Michael Bay.
Yeah.
We can, no matter what, and the problem is with that is Travis Knight did Bumblebee right before this.
Right.
We
We're still
keep-
talking about Michael Bay.
We're still talking about Michael Bay.
Yeah.
So he had to go, he couldn't just follow Bumblebee. He had to be removing that past legacy and that bad taste that all of those Michael Bay movies left in people's mouths.
I guess
Using Optimus.
What we're saying is, when it comes to directors and Transformers, the difference is Knight and Bay.
And to your point, Jay, it has to do a lot of this with especially characters like Optimus, who looks almost identical to how he looked in the Bay movies. There's small changes, yeah. And Bumblebee, who looks like very similar.
No, Optimus is completely different. Optimus, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Optimus is the truck he is from the G1 in this movie.
Yes, the
and
truck
Bumblebee
is-
started that. You do not that semi
I
truck.
think
He's
that
got
Bay did-
100 less accessories.
Don't you do this?
to an amateur Transformer fan like myself, like it looks very similar because in your mind it's like it's the same voice. He's got a blue hat. He's got
me,
glass breasts.
Optimus in Michael Bay looks like someone got a 95 Honda Civic and worked on it for 10 years.
10
And in
they
this
Fast
one,
and Furious.
Exactly, 100%.
Yes.
He's like an import tuner.
Yes.
Where in this, he looks like Toretto's Dodge Charger.
The only thing they didn't do,
Streamline,
which is a G1 thing, which I'm glad they didn't do because there's never any explanation
The
for
dick.
it.
No explanation.
Let them come.
They didn't need to give him a giant hog.
But they did.
I mean, there was that line about him getting the hands thing that turned into his whole body. He's like, you know what body part that came from? And I was like, did they just make like a...
So-
what that's your...
In the cartoon, Optimus, when he changes to a truck, his trailer comes out of nowhere. You never have the trailer. It's just Optimus as the truck.
Oh, in the Bay movies you're talking about.
No, in the cartoon, if you ever watch Optimus Prime when he
Right, right,
transforms, the back trailer like a semi truck,
Uh-huh.
it just comes out of nowhere.
It just shows up
It
randomly?
just shows
Oh,
up.
okay.
Like where the fuck has this been? And it doesn't show up. So that's just Lord Jesus.
I very much enjoyed the directing of this movie. Yeah, I think he's a guy that has a lot of passion for it. It doesn't feel like, hey, direct this Transformers
Right.
movie. He reads a couple books and he's like, I know what I'm doing. Yeah, and like he's talked about, in his interviews, he's so excited to bring, the Maximals to the big screen.
Yes.
They've never really been in like a live action form before. And I think it shows. And from the first trailer, there was a lot of hype around this because it felt like, oh, this feels like a good Transformers movie. Someone who is passionate about it. I love setting it. It was very smart for Bumblebee to go back in time and set it.
Yeah.
To give it a little nostalgia feel, which just feels a little better, right?
87 to the 94 now.
Yeah.
I wonder when we joke about
They're gonna jump more.
Like,
or,
I
They
I
moved
feel
to the
like
late 90s.
keep it in the 90s
Yeah.
for a bit. You know?
yeah.
And even Optimus references Haley Steinfeld to Bumblebee.
Yeah.
He said, I know you had that friend. I know you had a friend. So like that's the
But
connectivity.
she's
there.
busy now.
I'd love for that to
Taking
be like...
snaps from Josh Allen.
We
you
can't
know what I'm
afford
saying?
her in this movie.
We can't
She is
afford her.
Spider-Gwen.
B.
I think having like an Avengers moment where we bring back Haley and like have the G.I. Joe that's coming and all those
Yeah.
things, that'll be such a big moment when we get that Hasbro movie. So I think that's very intentional.
Are they gonna make John Cena like a G.I. Joe? You think?
No, leave him where he is.
Leave him where he is.
Because you'll end up running to the thing that they did with Channing Tatum in the G.I. Joe first movie.
I don't think make him Joe, but I think you could make him like one of the side Joes.
Make him. I don't say make him Joe.
But I think like
make
a
him
side.
He can be a side.
Yeah, I think that would be a fun way
like
to
a established that,
retroactively.
like,
Yeah, you're
because
right. I
he
agree.
dealt with them too.
He understands it.
Yeah.
And that would do
They're
the
just
thing where,
collecting.
like in the Marvel movies, where like that character you've known is blah, and that'd
Yeah,
be cool to
yeah.
make Bumblebee canon.
Also, pretty relieving that we're getting new G.I. Joe movies because I don't know what the hell was going on with that franchise, but
You don't think they hold up?
I mean, I think they hold up a little too well.
Well, let's give our scores for the direction of this movie.
5. Let's go. That's it.
Jay has a 5.
4 for me.
I mean, I was on board with giving it a 5 from the get-go.
No, Tommy said 3, and I hope the graphic still says 3.
Yeah,
for
better
Tommy.
say 3.
And Stephen Cable Jr.
don't have a
following
graphics
Jay
department
on
here,
Twitch.
do we?
Unfollow Tommy. Unfollow him. I gave
He's a subscriber to my OnlyFans.
okay, the only fan. I gave it a 4.5. The direction. I really liked what they did with this movie. It never felt too slow to me. It was really zipping along.
You know, I was just trying to be cool and be critical, and then I picked the worst category to take a hard
To be
stance
cool
on.
and
Because
critical.
I
Yeah, you
honestly,
did.
he was fine. He was a good director. He did a good job, and I loved Creed 2. And I think I'm like you, one of the two people. We're the two people that are like Creed 2 was actually.
Stop Creed 2 is really
Mr.
great.
Creed 2
Like,
Creed 2
That's
talk.
Illusionable!
they did have a trailer for Expendables during for this
Yeah.
Not from Stephen King.
But
movie.
the whole
Check in on
first
how Stallone's doing with his dialogue.
The whole
these days.
first part of the trailer for Expendables 4 was Statham feeling up Megan Fox.
I know it's very odd. Very odd.
What's going on there?
Very odd.
Thank you to Christian Unpronounceable for gifting out some subs.
Oh,
we
yeah.
appreciate that.
He also said Cheetor and Rhinox and Primal transforming into humanoid form was one of my favorite parts. I also love that they got their like weapons and stuff. Do the Maximals ever have guns? Or is it
Yes.
imp-
They have guns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I was like, give them some guns in this. They have to fight with a bow staff?
Because Cheetah has a gun. Cheetor has a gun that literally has the cheetah print on it and everything.
Oh, a cheetah
Rhinox
print
has
gun.
a
Print
cannon.
gun, real fancy.
Rhinox has a cannon. Prime has I think he has the ones off his back, and then he's just.
And Air Racer's got that complex mouth.
The mouth.
Complex mouth. Yeah, it's a shame we didn't get to see Air Razor transform into a humanoid form. That would have been interesting. I also wish. I mean, I know why they had to show some of that final battle in the trailer.
Yeah, but it was a
it
bummer.
does look so great on the big screen. The oneer where it's like
Yeah.
swinging and RC's on the back shooting or running. It's just great. I wish they hadn't given all that away.
That's another problem. That's a small problem I have with my nitpick. The Scorponok, the little Scorponok. Scorponok is actually a giant robot
go.
created
Here
by
we go.
Zarek. Zarek, who was the member of the Hive,
Here
he
we
turned
go.
this whole city underground into a giant triple changer. Scorponok started off as a city, changed into a scorpion, then a big ass robot because he fought Fortress Maximus. Fortress Maximus was created by Spike. Spike found the old Hive city. He recreated it to look like Cerebros when he was transformed, and then he made the first triple changer headmaster because Cerebros became the headmaster to Fortress Maximus, and Spike was the headmaster to Cerebros. That was the only thing I was mad at. Just follow it. Don't call him Scorponok. Scorponok is his own thing. I'm sorry. Continue.
I guarantee you, Stephen Cable Jr. had that same argument.
Yep. Now he's gonna follow
And
you.
the CEO of Hasbro was like, "Put the fucking scorpion in there."
I want a toy. Sell a toy.
My kid likes scorpions. Put the fucking scorpion in there.
Make them small.
Make it small.
Make them so small.
Your boy Jay, the commenter, said Fortnite had a Transformers collab. LOL. There you go.
Okay.
Oh, he also has to leave early.
And Lumpy292 and your boy Jay are both complimenting Jay's knowledge.
Thank you
I
so
think
much.
should.
Appreciate it.
Your boy Jay has to leave early, but you'll have a good weekend. Let's go Miami Heat. I'm sorry I said that. I don't agree with that.
I'm sorry. I said that.
Are you a Denver Nuggets guy?
I'm a fan of not basketball. How about that?
Oh, wow. What's wrong with basketball?
Nothing. I don't even know why I said that.
Too diverse
What's
for
wrong?
it?
Wow, what is happening?
What?
We're just having a time.
What?
Clip that out. Someone please clip that out. Oh my gosh.
I like Christian Brown. I like Kevin Love.
I'm outta
I
here.
like Duncan Robinson. I love Tyler Hero. And that's it. Oh, I like Jokic, I guess. I don't really trust him because he's
Okay,
Serbian.
let's get to our fifth category for which we will grade this movie. And I think it's the best category to go on this film. The sound and music of this film.
Bro.
I mean, what a soundtrack. What a
How
soundtrack.
Oh, no, I graded this one low again.
How dare
What's
you?
wrong with you?
Tommy's
Just hit the same
How
numbers.
dare
maybe the music was too diverse for me.
Tommy's like, not enough Steve Miller bands.
Where was the Who in this film?
It was all
Why didn't
great
they have-
90s hip hop.
It was such a good soundtrack.
If you are a hip hop head, you are loving this soundtrack.
I'm sorry. Where were the
needle
Spin
drop.
Doctors?
Every needle drop was so good, and maybe the best use of some like
Mama Said Knock You Out.
ever by far. When
Ever.
Bumblebee got a return to form
Don't
of
call
LL
it a
Cool J
comeback.
was so good.
The best use of it ever.
They used him. I will give Michael Bay credit for making Bumblebee awesome consistently because of his needle drops. This is his best needle drop.
I guess I just wish Faith No More had showed up a little more.
It opened with Cream.
It opened with Chester. Bro,
Not Eric Clapton
You know,
Cream.
when you open a movie to Wu-Tang
Tang?
and it doesn't feel heavy-handed because it doesn't feel like you're like, let's try to be cool, let's use Wu-Tang. When it feels authentically Wu-Tang,
and also when you can sing, this is how much it hits you. You start rapping along with every single song that
it is
plays.
so good.
It is
They-
so good.
If they had balls, they would have opened it with only Built for Cuban Links, okay?
Nah, bro, that's not a bigger one. You got to do not 94.
I
Also,
can't think of a better
Cuban Links
90s.
is like 98.
No, it wasn't.
But like a 95,
It's not 94.
Okay, maybe not 94. I'm not going to fight
Get
you
him.
on that.
95 and earlier hip hop, I think this hits so many things that
Yeah.
like people won't necessarily know of the new generation. They're gonna discover cool stuff because it was like definitely A-side tracks. It wasn't a lot of B-sides,
No.
but it was stuff that isn't as commonly in pop culture right now.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, we hear Beastie Boys every week, but it was really well done as needle drops, but it also made the characters more endearing. It wasn't just like cool for cool.
Right.
It worked for the narrative. I love that Poetic Justice got to have a moment. Like I love seeing like, not only was he fixing electronics to make him that character, but he was fixing that time's electronics, tying it into the music because he's a hip hop head.
Yep.
So he's obviously gonna watch Janet Jackson and Tupac. Like and that's exactly what the 94 culture was. I don't know, like the soundtrack.
No, music was amazing. It was the best. The like you said, the
Say it with your heart.
Mama Said Knock You Out for reappearance of Bumblebee. Ooh, so good, so good.
I very much enjoy it. I love that, like, in his room, and Tommy points this out in his breakdown that's coming out on the new Rockstars channel tomorrow. In Noah's room, you see that he's a fan of hip hop, yes, but like New York hip hop. Like,
Yes.
there's not like
Yes.
posters up there for
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg and stuff. It's like, no.
It's Nas, it's
Yeah.
Wu, it's everybody in New York. And look, as a Chicago boy, that was the hip hop we had. We had the New York hip hop first. We didn't really gravitate towards the West Coast one. So all that New York hip hop is what I came up on, and I was like, oh, give me all of this.
And even the song they made for the film.
The Toby Wigway song
Yeah,
was
it's
just
great. When
still
it comes in the third act, and I was
fits.
like, this sounds great.
fit
And like,
perfectly.
it fit in really well. And it wasn't like just the credits roll, and here's that song we paid for.
Yeah, it wasn't like Rick Ross, 100 black coffins for 100 black men in the midst of Django.
Yes. Yeah.
I never. Yep.
Django.
I just realized I've been mishearing that lyric.
I don't want
I
to.
just
I thought it was
know what you
100
heard,
black
Tommy.
coffees.
I don't want to.
I thought it was a nice story about a barista.
The only thing I wanted, and that's why it's a 4.5 for me, I just revealed my score, but I wanted one Pac song because of what he was in hip hop in '94, and I would have loved.
That's what you got him in Juice. You saw him in Juice.
You got the image. You got,
You got
I
the
thought it was
image in
Poetic
Image.
Justice.
Yeah.
Was it Juice?
No,
Poetic
it was-
Justice.
it was-
No, Juice. He had the hair. Poetic Justice. He
No,
was,
it's the one with Omar Epps.
That's Juice.
Was that
Yeah,
Juice?
that was
It was
Juice.
a Juice
Yeah, that's
Oh, there was
Juice.
a Poetic Justice poster. That's
Yeah, it's
threw me.
Poetic Justice Puster, but that movie was Juice. So I was like, what was it, Poetic Justice?
My
That
bad.
was Juice.
But I wanted, because he was watching it, I would have loved Bumblebee to have Holler If You Hear Me. Because like if he comes back talking, imagine Holler If You Hear Me.
I
coming
get
out as
you.
Bumblebee.
I get you on that
Only
one.
thing would have made it a 5.
Yes.
No,
I
I want to say I thought that we were talking about the score of the
Oh.
movie, and that's why I gave it a score of a 3. If I had known we were talking about the soundtrack,
It was score/music.
licensed music is a different category. I thought we were talking about the orchestral score, of which I found it only a 3 out of 5. But if we're talking about the soundtrack and licensing on Paramount Music, I give it a 5 out of 5, of course. I love hip hop as much as the other guys.
Well, let's give our scores. Tommy gave his alterated score.
4.5 for me.
4.5. I was also 4.5. I will definitely buy the soundtrack to this film.
5.
Oh, you know
1,
Jay
2,
likes
3,
it.
4, 5. Give it all to me. 5.
Yes.
Let's see what the folks in the chat were saying. It's Kel saying Tommy needs a sports channel.
Yes.
No. Spidey _Sensei72 saying So Bumblebee flies out of that plane to LL.
Yes, he
That's
does.
right, he does. It's a good needle drop. It's really good. I wish that wasn't in the trailer.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna do?
I know.
But you didn't hear the. I think it's just.
You didn't hear,
music.
but when they kill Bumblebee, you're like,
Yeah, you're like,
he's
oh,
not-
well,
when
I
he
already
comes
know he's
back.
coming out of an airplane.
But you know what though? I've kind of gotten used to, and I hate to bring him up again, but the Marvel thing where they film a lot of stuff and put stuff in trailers to
Yeah.
mislead you.
So you would
So
hope.
you never know in a sense. You're like, was this
Yeah, they could
earlier?
have cut that. Yeah.
And in a way, although that scene was amazing, because Bumblebee was so crucial to the origins of the original Transformers franchise, and then the titular character
Right.
of the reboot of this franchise, killing him for a movie or two would have been a pretty bold move.
It would have been,
I
yeah,
mean, that is like this. Like children who are born 2000 and beyond, like Bumblebee is the Transformer besides Optimus Prime. They probably know best. Right?
We had
Like,
to live through Optimus's death. They
Right.
can live through Bumblebee.
Yeah, if you ain't never lived through
make
Optimus's
them
death.
bury Bumblebee.
Optimus's death was so strong that they had to bring him back to life because nobody cared about Rodimus Prime.
Yes.
They
Just
can't.
kids were devastated.
They were
Even the
devastated.
Yeah, yeah.
Or
Yeah,
Rodimus
yeah.
Prime.
Because when Optimus died, there were tears.
When Optimus died, I left my church because I was like, there is no God.
I have nothing now.
Why would they kill Optimus
You were
Prime?
3.
I was 3.
You stood up and you're like, God doesn't exist.
I said, actually, I take all that back. I was born in 2002, so.
That's right.
The 01507 saying the chronic to enter the 46 chambers to Illmatic
36.
to ready to die to reasonable doubt.
Yes.
Yes, those are the albums. The Chronic to Into 36 Chambers, Illmatic from Nas, Reasonable Doubt, Jay-Z, Ready to Die, Biggie.
And the Chronic's the only real West Side album in that. So you're right. It is like
It's the only one, yes. The only one.
Yeah. So our final score with Tommy's debased score.
Even with a crutch.
Drum roll, please. It's an 86. Out of 100, I assume. Yeah. Okay. I
Not a
was just making
bad
sure.
score, and I would say pretty robust
I would say,
score.
yeah, this is a great summer movie. I mean, it's really awesome.
They have a really cool. If you're into the popcorn
Dude,
kit
I
today,
almost bought that thing.
I had it in my hand, and then I threw it back at the lady, and I said, "No, I'm not buying another one of these." But now I kind of want to go back and get
AMC
it.
goes hard with the popcorn
So
buckets
good.
lately. They've been doing a good job.
So
It's
Miles
expensive,
Morales
though.
It's an Optimus Prime truck. The Miles Morales one, for a second, is weird. It's his head.
It's
And
his
I
head.
was like,
I have a Peter Parker head,
I'm
I
not
got a
eating
Miles head.
popcorn out of a young black man's head. I'm not doing
I'm
that.
so glad you said that.
doing that.
And I will just say, if I can be the devil's advocate,
I got Peter Parker had it for years.
I'll eat popcorn out of Peter Parker's head. I don't care about that little one. But it's an Optimus Prime truck with trailer, not in the movie.
truck and trailer.
But it's so long, it's almost like you fell for this. All right, you bought this, stick this in.
Yeah.
I
Enjoy
saw
putting this
I
in your
saw some
house.
girl-
Top of your fridge, just like sitting up
I
there.
saw some girl laughing at her boyfriend who was like sheepishly being like, "Thank you," and she was like, "I hope you're happy."
Thanks for my
I've
truck.
got the bat cowl, the Miles, and the Peter, and I think I want to put the Optimus behind it. So I
Yeah.
just got all these heads, and then I'll have like a full
I've got the
truck.
Thor hammer. I've got the Ant-Man.
The Dungeons and Dragons dice
that
was
is
really
here
cool.
somewhere.
I ain't got no
I feel like you
room.
would
I've
say
got the
something.
Mjolnir.
I ain't got no room. I ain't got no room for
I got
that.
the Mjolnir.
Yeah. I buy enough stuff from Disneyland. I'm not allowed to bring home souvenir stuff from AMC.
Speaking of which, guys,
When I
I'm
go
going to
to
the
the
Pixar
AMC.
store this weekend. If anybody wants any prizes, let me know.
Okay.
Wish list.
Well, we're gonna wrap up our little Transformers review here. Again, I think we all very much enjoyed this movie. I'm very excited to see where this franchise is going. If you saw the film, you see they're gonna really expand this universe. They show a lot of Power Rangers merch in this movie. Chris,
Because
the
it's
younger
94
brothers,
is when it becomes
they
popular.
came out in 93, 94.
I thought it was 92.
I think I like it's somewhere around
Somewhere
there.
around
Call in if you know.
I think it was
guys.
Japan in 92, and then
That's
like,
what it-
the
yes,
US
you're
in
right, you're right.
93. But like Hasbro owns the
Yeah.
Power Rangers now.
Remember they redid the reboot?
Right, and like he has a poster in his room. He wears the shirt. I mean, I don't think you can bring in. Unfortunately, I was like, oh, that means the Power Rangers aren't going to show up in this.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Who knows?
Nope.
Stranger things have happened. Very excited to see what they do with G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
I think it's going in a great direction, and I'm very happy to see the love and passion go into this movie.
Yes, very much so.
Bring in Magic the Gathering.
Bring him all
My
in.
favorite
Yeah,
Hasbro.
Hasbro can bring him in. I mean,
And stay
they have
tuned for
brought.
Mask. I'm telling y'all, Mask is coming. Like you got it. G.I. Joe's gonna be done first, and then Mask, Mobile Armor Strike Command. That's all.
Oh, I thought you were
That's
talking
coming.
about smoking.
Well, that's it for us today. Make sure to give us a follow here on Twitch and subscribe to the Breakroom channel on YouTube. We can catch cut downs and replays of all of our streams, and we'll have exclusive content as well, including celebrity interviews. Next week on the Breakroom channel, we've got a lot of fun stuff planned, and tune in Monday. gonna do a little Breakroom Classic, I think, on Monday. So tune in for that.
Ooh.
And be sure to tune in on our new Rockstars channel. Tommy's already put out a breakdown of the ending and post-credit scene for Transformers, and I'll have a full breakdown of the film tomorrow on the channel. So be sure to do that. Also next week, here on the Breakroom, we're doing a watch-along of Captain Marvel with Tommy and Jay to get ready for Secret Invasion. There were Skrulls in that movie, remember? We're also gonna do a Black Mirror after show here on the Breakroom, and of course, talking about The Flash with our new comic book show, Comically Uninformed, and another movie review on Netflix. Movies coming out.